Only in Kenya can applying for a job feel like signing up for a reality show. Kenya.
New day, strange things, and here is PressPoint. The IEBC chair position. The kind of job you apply for knowing very well that wenye walikuwa hapo kwa hiyo kiti waliumwa paka usiku na mambo haikuenda poa. But because kudedi ni mara moja na kukula ni kila siku, you'll be like, oh my goodness, I like cats. Cats are so cool. Now, despite the ominous reputation of the job, guys still showed up. And they were here to receive some compliments, which is a good thing.
Ms. Mdivo, I appreciate your wealth of experience as a legal practitioner, both on the bench and in the bar.
Okay, that could be misunderstood, but let's get into it.
Tell us briefly, not too much, that which you think we should know about yourself, about your career journey, and lastly, why you think you are the best for this position of chair.
Well, I know the chair here wanted to start from somewhere, but really, I feel such questions just feel redundant in this day and age. Unless, of course, the candidate has locked their Facebook profile. And also, I am sure these candidates have already listed everything about themselves on their CVs. Their hobbies, how they like swimming, watching movies, traveling, how they are self-driven and can work under pressure, You know, hizo vitu zote tunaandikanga kwa CV. Anyway, Joy, tell us what you do if we gave you this job.
One of the things that I think makes me suitable for this job is the humility to accept what you do not know and to learn from those who know better than you. The IEBC has a very competent secretariat that has been carrying on their duties. So just like I did when I entered into Kenya Power, you lean into the wisdom in the room and you learn how to navigate in the new space that you're entering into.
You know what? There's actually a name for that. It's called joyriding. Guys, next time you go for an interview and you're asked if you are qualified, just say, I have heard that the secretary, accountant, and marketing manager are doing their job. I don't need to do mine. I'll just lean into them.
You lean into the wisdom in the room.
Hey, is there anyone I can lean in today? Huh? None? We also had candidates who struggled to explain why they left their previous jobs to apply for this one without making it about the money. Here is Charles Nachai trying to explain why he quit the East Africa Court of Justice job because, as he puts it, there was no one.
There are financial issues within the community. And when this happened for practically the whole of 2023, I said to myself, I'm not being fair to myself. I'm not being fair to the people of East Africa. Because all this time, chair and members of the panel, every month I am earning $2,000 for doing nothing.
If this is true, Charles Nachai would be the first Kenyan man to resign for being idle. Now imagine this. We appoint someone as IEBC chair, right? Give them a cool 1 million shillings a month and hand them a 15 billion a year budget. And then they quit because there's nothing meaningful to do, like not making voter registration a whole year, in-season and out-of-season exercise that come the election, young people will be already enlisted and ready to make their votes count. Wait, why am I sweating about this? Maybe we already have enough voters, eh? Do we? Well, I guess we'll never know. Next up, Amadi. Not to be confused with Elechi Amadi. Anne, tell us about gold. Allegedly, your company was involved in something to do with gold and the architect was allegedly your son. You see how I'm trying to be safe here? I was allegedly here reading this news. All right, on your marks, let's go on.
It is true that there was an order that was issued freezing my accounts, and I agree with you that the allegations are extremely serious. My response is that there was actually no reason for me to be in that case and named as the first respondent because the firm that is involved, I resigned from it in 2014.
Oh yes, huko nilitoka kitambo. I don't even know anyone there.
And I was very busy in the judiciary. There was no time even to go and, get into any kind of practice.
Plus mimi hukuanga hapa studio all the time. Atililiona wapi? Wacha zako.
I do not have skills in gold trade. and I had nothing to do with it.
The honorable candidate insists she doesn't have the skills for what she's been accused of. And honestly, I agree. Why argue? In Kenya, no one ever seems to have good skills in anything when it matters most. But one thing to keep in mind is that there is also never a requirement for anyone to have any actual skills to sell you something you don't even need to have the stock. Hey boss, umesema unataka uji power yenye iko na omena, njugu na juisi ya mguka? Wow, bro, sasa hiyo ni ngumu. Hiyo ni ngumu kupata. But nipe 2 minutes. I promise you, 2 minutes. That's what. Ndio hii, nimeipata. Sasa, si unijenge. Anyway, I'm so glad Anne has cleared her name. And if there's one lesson here, it's this. If you don't have the skills for something, run away from that thing as fast as possible, even if it means running away from your own voice.
And discuss this issue of money, because the amount of money that I've seen is not the amount of money.
It's not our problem. It's not our problem. There is.
You know, shouting doesn't help. I've told you.
No, after 5 months, the patient will over. It's over.
Okay. You can see that voice is muffled. Senator.
Babe, hizo biashara za kucheat, hata mimi sijui. Ati voice note ni yangu. Aje sasa, unajua wakati ingine pita uongea kama mimi. Believe me, babe. Mimi nakakudanganya. Seriously. Nakanika nadanganya.
On 283.
283. Kisii. Nachai. 98. 981,000 plus 20,000 shillings. Nyamira. Nachai. 459,000.
But I digress. When interviewing candidates for any role at IEBC, whether it's chairperson, commissioner, or even janitor, the questions need to be tailored because, let's be honest, IEBC isn't just your regular office. And with that, here are PressPoint's 5 interview questions for IEBC candidates. And number 5, that one, it will shock you. Question 1, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And contrary to what you are thinking, this question is not about whether the candidate will be alive or not. It's about the candidate's plans for IEBC. Of course, in the future. Question number 2. Do you believe in miracles? Now, this is a crucial question. It helps the candidate demonstrate the ability to process events that can only be explained by supernatural forces. For example, when one candidate has been leading comfortably for hours, that even prepared a red carpet, then out of nowhere, they get overtaken. Or when votes suddenly appear, suddenly appear long after you as the chair had completely forgotten about them. Oh, Fuchs, tumetoka Tharaka-Nithi, barabara ndio ilikuwanga mbaya. You've heard that story before, yeah? I'm sure you know about this one. Then here is question number 3. Are you vegetarian or are you into chicken? Now, this one may need some explaining.
Senior managers and commissioners in the now defunct Interim Independent Electoral Commission, or IEBC, were beneficiaries of kickbacks from Smith & Osman, a UK-based company specializing in printing security documents. The bribes amounted to about 50 million shillings, and this was done by inflating most of the printing contracts by up to 38%. Chicken was the word that would facilitate Smith & Osman's winning 7 tenders to supply election materials such as ballot papers, voter registration forms, voter ID cards, and nomination forms.
Yeah, you had that right. And if you're wondering whether anyone was prosecuted for that, too bad, buddy. That case mattered to Kenyans about as much as a spoiled vote matters to anyone. Moving on to question 4. What would you do when angry people march your way with the intention to aggressively massage your head and you don't know why, even as the choir sings on uninterrupted? And finally, the big one. What will you do when people start calling you a hero when all you want is to do your job and not be anyone's hero?
The hero of this election is the IEBC, led by Wafula Chebukati. I say this with conviction that the IEBC amazed all of us.
Now, if you think you have more questions, you can add to the list. Feel free to put it in the comments.
Kasongo ye Mombali nanga Kasongo mbona wewe Songa libala oh ye